Oh, ready to go whenever you guys are ready.
Get in the way.
We'll put this in.
Yeah, you can. Yeah.
Of course, yeah, they're there for the outtakes,
People
aren't
actually
they?
watch it then, won't they?
Yeah.
That's right.
Well, you've got to have a couple of bloopers or something, mate, you know? As long as not picking your nose or anything like that, I think it's all right. People won't be repulsed.
Hi everyone, my name is Wade Beckersey, Mercantile CPA. This is our fourth podcast, Credit and Collections. We have Mario McDonagh here from Screening On Site. He's going to tell us a little bit about his business, his background, and a little bit of experience that he's had in the credit world with PPSR. So welcome.
Thank
Mario.
you, Wade.
Thanks for
Fantastic to
coming
be here, mate.
on. Tell us a little bit about Screening On Site.
Happy to. Screening On Site specialises in drug and alcohol testing in the workplace.
Okay.
We offer, well, they call it a DAMP, a drug and alcohol management plan.
You didn't bring a test for me now, did you?
I can if you like. But no. Basically, organisations to protect themselves against the drug epidemic that our nation is suffering need to test in the workplace. Protects them with insurance, industrial relation issues, productivity, and critically safety.
And
Probably
how'd
one
you
of the
get
biggest
into
ones. I was actually asked to do it.
Okay.
Twice. 15 years ago, but I didn't want to play in the field then. You had to be a nurse and, you know, it was all urine based. I didn't really want to be in that sphere. I definitely can't take blood.
Yeah.
But technology's changed at a rampant rate and we can do saliva testing now and still the urine. It's a lot cleaner, hygienic and inobtrusive with the saliva is one we like.
And how long have you been involved in this?
3.5 years we've been going for now.
And you created the business?
Created it from scratch. It was someone's idea. They wanted help to set the business up.
Okay.
They come up with the idea. I said, yeah, let's do it. They said, well, you've got to go halves. I said, all right, I've got a few things on, but let's do it. They've actually moved on. I've taken over the whole thing now for about 1.5 years. So, yeah.
Do you make all the decisions now?
It's purely mine, which I love.
What's that like as a business owner?
The only way to go.
That's right.
I say that, but I've actually... The business has just evolved in the last 2 months, 3 months I'll say. We're now called Star Group.
Star Group.
Become a proprietary limited. Star is spelled with an H.
Yes, see, I didn't pick that up.
That's all right. It's a bit of a trick in the branding. The logo shows it well, but it's support, testing, awareness and help.
Support, testing, awareness and help.
And that's all around a drug and alcohol management plan. We can now comprehensively cover what a DAMP is all about, which is fantastic. Very proud to put in one of the key areas we weren't capable of servicing, and that's employee assistance programs. We now have one with fantastic success rates of 90%. With the techniques that are used within our program,
And
tested
it's a
over time.
Course?
4 weeks, yes.
Right? Yeah.
A little bit more, there's a little bit of prelude to get into the course. There's some questionnaires and some psychometric analysis to help people understand themselves and communicate better with others, which is so important. So we're giving them some value straight away. They go over the 4 weeks, 2 hours a week, with incredible results almost instantly. And there's follow-up for the next 3 months to ensure they're on track, moving forward well.
What's the main thing that they find when they're going through that process? Is it's about themselves?
It is 100%. It helps them deal with life issues, is a simple way to put it. It helps with their cognitive thinking and with how they store information within their mind. It's like a filing cabinet people have referred to before. But instead of letting bad issues be at the forefront of their decisions and influencing what they do, creating negative behavioural patterns, we're helping them file those decisions away. They're dealt with and they're focused and able to deal with life issues like everyone else does, instead of being influenced by maybe tragedy, trauma, a multitude of things that may have happened from a young age or throughout their working career.
Okay, fantastic.
Yeah, it's some great results. It's exciting.
Working quite well. And so, how do people get involved? Is that through an employer or employee perspective, or is it you choose yourself? So if I was feeling like I needed some assistance,
we can do
program is caters for everyone.
The big sphere for us is as an employee assistance provider. Major companies, whether it be the government sector or private, will have an employee assistance program, and we can cater for that program with all the testing and so on, from screening on site But the STAR program itself, that caters for the employee assistance stuff. So companies, instead of having to fire someone, if we were out there testing going strike one, you're out, we offer a strike 1, 2 or 3 with a comprehensive policy. But once they find that strike one, you put your employee into a program.
And when you say strike one, that's for
being found under the influence at work, yes. Yeah, sure. If you're in that instance, then you can put in the support mechanism, because you've identified an issue. And it's very hard to identify those issues in the workplace. Experience I've had over 9 years as a trainer assessor, teaching in business in the adult sector, I can identify every facet of the business, the bottom line that's getting effective and what those causes are. A lot of it can be drugs and alcohol.
That's the core reason.
Interesting. Drugs and alcohol is the byproduct we fix. It's a crux for all the conditions people deal with. So depression, anxiety, stress.
We use those as tools to cope.
Correct, yeah. PTSD, suicide ideation, sleep disorder, a multitude of conditions that people suffer from day-to-day issues in life. Their coping mechanisms, they end up maybe on the drugs and alcohol. We've found after even 1 or 2 sessions, the drug and alcohol stuff's subsided. They don't even want to use it anymore.
Oh, they want to deal with what?
Because they're dealing with the main problems. Yeah. Therefore, we're getting a far better result with the individual's personal growth, which is brilliant. And the drugs and alcohol go. Yes, we look after those as well.
Of course.
Generally, that's the identifier of the other issues. So that's
so
the workplace
rather than punishing them for that.
Precisely.
They're out.
Well, if you fire everyone you find under the influence for an indiscretion, it could be your best employee that's been there for 7, 10 years.
All the knowledge about the business.
100%. Yeah. Now, how do you replace that person? That's time. There's advertising, retraining, and then there's that lapse in from being a trainee to being a peak performer. That can take 2 to 3 years in some industries.
Of course, yeah.
It all depends. But if you can look after the individual, you're going to have a quicker return on dealing with a problem, increased morale, the workplace culture. That is the key underpinning indicator there that supports everyone. They feel they're supported. They want to stay with the company as well.
So some companies even have psychologists on
they do.
How do you find that?
We're a little bit. We don't do psychology.
But do you work with companies that do have?
We can if they want us to. We'll put them through our programs. We've had people that have been through the core techniques of our program that have been to psychologists and physiologists for 10, 15 years and still have the same problems, come do our course. Instant improvement. So that's, we're looking at things differently. We're tackling the problem in a different way with clinical and contemporary techniques.
And are they doing that on an individual basis, or are they doing it in a group?
One at a time.
It's one on one.
Definitely. Yeah, okay. You can be dealing with some really personal issues with people. Sure. There's a lot of confidentiality is key in our business. We've been operating under that for years. As a trainer assessor, I've had to make sure we're confidential with the information I know and provide and what I can and can't pass on. So we're building the same securities around what we do here with the STAR program and STAR group as a whole.
Yeah. Okay, fantastic. Yeah, sounds like you're doing some great stuff. So
yes, very excited to get it. Really get the name out there and let people know what we're about, actually, because it's a new angle, and I've studied sustainability, and we believe the STAR Group is a sustainable solution to the drug and alcohol problems out there, and offering organisations a comprehensive package as mentioned, so they can see there's a future. You've got people not just falling to the wayside being fired, but coming back and being contributing members of the community as well. So the knock-on effects at home are incredible to family, and within the community, people spending money within
the community.
They're definitely within the community, within their industry, buying tools or whatever it might be to self-improve, instead of wasting money on drugs and alcohol, which we're losing $9.2 billion roughly spent in 2018.
Is that right?
On drugs, on 4 drugs alone. Methamphetamine, heroin, MDMA for ecstasy and cocaine. Estimated $9.2 billion, and that's from the National Wastewater Drug Monitoring Program.
And do you see that when you're testing on site as well? They're the core drugs that you identify?
Definitely. Ice is the biggest one. That is tearing apart the fabric of our community. It's heartbreaking. You're watching families destroyed from.
It's so cheap.
That's the problem. I don't know the actual price, but I don't think they might pay $20-30 for a so-called bag of these crystals. So it's cheaper than buying alcohol.
And so what happens when somebody is identified in front of you and you've caught them and you're talking to them about it? Do they open up and admit that they've
Generally they will mention that they're using.
Okay.
A lot of people lie to me at the first instance. I'm a stranger. Yeah, unfortunately, there's a lot of characteristics I can spot. As a trainer assessor, I'm been trained to look for certain things when you're assessing. So, just eyes, demeanour, face, how someone presents. They're some big giveaways. You could be wrong, don't get me, there's multiple things you have to assess, but once the kits we use show methamphetamine and amphetamine as an indication apparent drug is present, I never say positive.
It's a violent drug, so do they get violent when
they can be aggressive, yes. Yeah, aggressive. I've had some instances where I've seen it start to build. You can see the aggression coming out in them as I'm talking to them, yeah. But being a trainer assessor, being able to talk to people, communicate what's going on, explain it, we can generally diffuse the situation, and we always have management there anyway. At the end of the day, it's the management that's called us in to do the testing. We're just a testing provider.
And they're going to take it from there.
They take
him from,
yeah. Well, it's critical.
Unless STAR gets involved.
STAR can help, right. Definitely. That's the bit that we're quite proud to add to the arm of what we do as a new pillar. If you are caught under the influence, you're suspended immediately. A means of transport must be found for you to get home. We can't put someone behind the wheel of a car. Duty of care, such an important phrase.
So and you get picked up, Uber, taxi?
Definitely, or a supervisor might take them home, whatever it might be. Okay. But the company must protect the donor. We call it a donor. Someone that's giving the test, they're a donor.
And so that person gets fired and doesn't work for the company anymore. Is there any follow-up with those people? From
us as an organisation, no, you're bang out into the wayside, out to the unemployment numbers. Exactly. So as a organisation, with consultation, we promote for EAPs, Employee Assistance Programs. That's the critical part. Save on the retraining, look after the individual, give them that strike 1-2.
Down the track once.
Well, they may, yeah. I've actually seen that happen. Someone's come and got themselves clean, came and done a retest with us, and then got their job back, which is a fantastic result.
Excellent outcome.
Which is what we like to see. But now we can actually strengthen that result with our STAR program, which is we help speed it up and keep them employed.
Keep them. Yeah,
they'll be suspended until the lab results come back. We take samples. If we find someone under the influence, we take secondary samples to confirm it. Okay. I can't say you're confirmed positive, only a lab can, which is fair.
Yeah, sure.
Fair and justified testing is critical. Yeah. So until that result comes back, that gives them a chance to clean their act up.
Okay.
They do a clean screen to come back to work. We've gotten them back in, working with them.
How long is usually that?
36 hours to 48, depending on the time of day when I do the testing to get it to the lab. That can be interesting.
Yeah.
But at least we know exactly what we're dealing with, and we can guide the company on how to handle the situation as well, and look after the individual. If we fired everyone under the influence of drugs and alcohol, right now 2% of the workforce in Australia should be sent home. Yeah. They are on ice right now. 5,000 people in South Australia today now, and I know that fact is underestimated because we're not testing in all the divisions of industry, all the sectors. White collar's getting away with blue murder, so to speak. They don't test enough. Yeah. I've got a couple of sectors where we're getting into there.
Is that because it's not legislated to do?
Correct.
Whereas blue collar is obviously because
high risk. High risk is a big. So our rail, our air, some transport, tier 1 construction is federally funded, so they must test 10% of their workforce a month. On average, there's a couple little, depending on how many people are there, it works out to 10% roughly, which is a good net to throw over your workplace to see what's going on. If you go too small, people are going to slip through. The idea is to identify if we've got any issues. Then we follow them with the other systems. So we do need it mandated everywhere, in my personal opinion. It's the only way we can have a holistic approach to identify where the issues are, but then we must have the support as well. Otherwise, we're just going to end up with everyone unemployed. Or not everyone, a large proportion, unfortunately, of the workforce.
Okay. Yeah. We're doing a great job there. No, that's good.
Thank you.
All right. So I suppose I just want to go back a little bit before you got involved in screening
testing
on site.
site, yeah.
Testing site. What did you do before? Did you run another business before?
I've got a couple on the go.
So you're a bit of a serial entrepreneur.
A little bit. Look, I've had some passive income through an organisation called Rhino Plant Hire, which was a water truck I bought and hired out to the construction industry.
Oh, fantastic.
I grew up through the building game. Ended up going to civil construction as a supervisor. Was poached after doing a Cert 3 in civil construction by the trainer to say, come and be a trainer assessor, which was fantastic. Spent 9 years in the training world for adult education in civil construction, Cert 4 supervision, everything below it. During that time, I bought the water truck, 15,000 litre mine spec water truck.
15,000.
So, you know, a HR, it's a large vehicle, yes. But that's all for dust suppression and soil conditioning, which is critical aspect. Well, it's run around Adelaide and other sites over the years with mixed results, to say.
Okay.
I'll leave it at that, mixed results.
But it's still currently a business?
It is currently, but I'm thinking of selling the truck because, quite frankly, Star Group is my passion. Definitely, I'm having much more fun doing that and seeing great results. Yeah. So and it's
impact.
Yeah, and there's a lot of back end stuff that needs to happen with Star Education, with online learning, which we're building as well. It's
so if anyone wants a truck,
there's a nice 15,000 litre water truck up for grabs at the moment. Please contact us.
You're probably going to find a spot to store it,
well, no, it's
just parked up the driveway.
It's at the auction house right now, actually. Yeah,
so somebody's going to buy it.
I'm getting rid of it. I've had enough. And there's a couple of reasons why I'm getting rid of it, and it's quite unfortunate. But I put it down to the unethical and immoral practices of large organisations. You know, they're morally and ethically bankrupt, in my opinion. Have a look at the Banking Commission, Royal Banking Commission, to say the least.
It hasn't been good for anyone, has it?
As a small operator down tier 3 level, I see the tier 1 companies deliberately manipulate acts and codes and...
Especially to get away with non-payment.
Exactly.
So you had an experience in regards to that?
$50,000 experience.
50,000.
Yeah.
That's not small change, is it?
No, not for a sole operator. And there's 5 months income gone, and even more income they want back from clawback. The 6 months of whatever I received before they went bankrupt. They had to go at that as well.
So this is with your truck?
That's with my truck. I can't mention names.
No, but you provided $50,000 worth of service.
Yeah.
You provided that on a handshake deal?
No, there was a contract.
Okay.
But the company didn't get paid by the tier 1 company.
Okay.
In fact, they had I can say it was a government job. Yeah. So to put your truck on something that's being funded
by the government,
you'd think you'd be secure.
You would, wouldn't you?
And then you see the tier 1 company with a hub of engineers ensuring all the works are done, everything's validated and it's all above board. I thought, this is good. I feel really proud to be a part of this project. Yeah, except when you hear the job goes through, the tier 2 company subbed in to do some of the works, who subbed me in, they send the bill off, it goes interstate to the head office of this engineering little hub here. They're not authorised to sign off on those decisions. Well, hang on, you've got an engineering hub here to keep the job showing. If they're not authorised, what are they doing there? So just deliberate manipulation of the law and different states and stuff, and they didn't pay $1 million worth of work to the tier 2 guy.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how many contractors were affected in that?
At least 9 to 12 that I know of.
Yeah, so
a dozen South Australian businesses
were affected.
Just ruined the tier 2 guy. Yeah. So
he went under bankruptcy.
I think around 150 staff.
Far out.
Off the top of my head.
Okay.
I've managed to tread water. Hasn't been easy.
No. Not many businesses can take a hit.
Not like that. No. It was fortunate because it was a as a trainer, I was a trainer assessor as well. The truck I would hire out as almost a passive income.
I
had another income to just keep me alive. I would have lost the truck, without a doubt.
And you didn't register your interest through the PPSR?
All I can say is I wish I'd met you 7 years ago and knew about PPSR.
It became a secured creditor, and if there was some of the funds left, you might have got something. Not saying you would have got 100% of your money back, but you would have got, you would have been up the top.
I would have been up the top, and it would have just made so much sense. So, that was before I was involved in networking.
Came out in 2012, so
yeah.
So it would have been right around that.
I would have been right on the edge of it, actually. So, unfortunate. It's what it is now.
Yeah, but for a small cost to register,
terms and conditions and $50 to register a client each time you have a new, that is peace of mind. You talk peace of mind, I can tell you now, I didn't sleep well last night because it regurgitated all. No, don't apologise. I'm happy to be here and talk about it if it helps other people prevent themselves from going down this, having to go through the lessons I had to sit through.
Us after the fact. They've had a loss for 10 grand or 50 grand or 100 grand. Then they want to register. Then they want to get their terms in.
Get them right and get everything right.
We're talking to them now. I haven't had an issue. It's okay.
Yeah, not a problem.
Yeah, don't bother me.
Well,
a year later, Wade.
Just told you, government-funded projects, you can't trust the tier one companies running the show. So
if you're dealing with smaller operators, you should always register.
And how many housing companies have gone broke in Adelaide in the last year?
In the last 12 months. That's right.
It's just out of control. Yeah. It's a tough environment to work in. So you need that risk tolerance. You need that support in your business.
Like insurance, right?
Yeah,
you're not going to drive your car out there.
It's the best insurance in my opinion, because at least you're up here to get paid, and the most important factor in my opinion, the clawback. There's 26 grand worth of clawback.
You had to pay back after.
I can't comment on what I paid and how what I negotiated.
Yeah, that's right.
They had let's put it this way, they had a tough time on their hands when they had to deal with me, which was fortunate. I understood a few things.
Yeah. But the liquidator is going to come for that money, so they can pay the secured creditors, right?
And I was on both sides. I was a creditor, and I was up for clawback. It's like, you've got to be kidding.
And that happens all the time.
So. Yeah, and that's the scary thing. So I'm happy to come forward to talk about it.
I should have registered.
Yeah, and say, look, if this can help business. I've even joined the Australian Subcontractors Association, which is a fantastic body where they, for I think around $200 membership a year, you have access to so much information. There's so many industry specialists. I'm on the advisory group now, which I'm proud to say, where if I can share my knowledge and we can get information out to subcontractors of any description. You don't just have to be a builder.
In the building industry. It's just a subby of any
subcontractor for that matter. You've got an asset pool there of knowledge, which is priceless, really.
There's a few hundred people in the.
It's growing all the time. So it's.
But there's how many subcontractors just in SA alone?
200,000, I believe. Exactly. You'd think we'd have a bigger base, really. Right. So we're on a membership drive to try and grow and get that message out.
We'll even put some links in the comments.
That's fantastic. That's wonderful.
Yeah, ASA, that's for short, isn't it?
Yes, ASA for short. And they have some excellent pull with ministers and so on, so we can get in the right ears. And we're all just talking. We're there to make business better.
I think there's even a session on this afternoon.
There is this evening.
You probably won't see this tonight, but
it's a shame. That's at yes, we're on the 23rd. And they're talking about cybersecurity tonight, which is quite a scary area. It won't happen to me. I'm hearing more and more of these instances happen. So I think that's
they're breaking through the human barrier because we all subscribe to quite high-end products that are looked after. So the breakdown comes through the humans, right? Yeah,
definitely.
Human interaction.
Unfortunately, someone didn't do something correctly.
Yeah, well, they get a phone call from someone they think's one of their suppliers. They start
these emails, the phishing emails. Oh my goodness!
Do you know how big companies will send out the test phishing emails, and then as soon as one of their staff opens it up, hey Mario, in my office, I'll send you another one of these emails, and you open it again. They do it all the time.
Testing their own
that's
staff.
That's how
Wow.
many people don't understand.
Oh, well, that's
I'll
a
go
good
into
way of
my office and say,
educating.
yeah, that's right.
But unless they've actually
But
lost money from it, I mean, it's not the individual, it's the company that's getting shut down for 2 weeks with, a key to open the business for 40 grand payment, all this kind of carry on. Who can afford that? The insurance, I think, is important. It's, with the new businesses, we're just about to launch brand new websites. I will be taking up that kind of insurance. I have to.
Cyber insurance.
Yeah, 100%. We'll be having the best security we can have because of the industry I'm in.
Of course, you need the privacy.
And the Privacy Act I have to follow. So yeah, we make sure we've got the armour on for that instance, 100%.
Yeah, excellent. And I think we were talking. So when you started your business 3-4 years ago, but you've been in business a long time.
Well,
what would you
multiple
say
things
to the
over
other
the years.
business owners out there? What's one key thing you've learned, I suppose, over your time in business? The handshake deals are over.
Yes, terms and conditions are probably the most important thing. And what you offer, I think, is brilliant with that, and the PPSR. I'm very passionate about
you're
it.
More passionate about me.
I've lost the money.
You are right.
It is, and I've been told I'm passionate, and yes, I am.
No, but when that type of money has affected you, then of course.
To study sustainability and be proud to run a business in South Australia, let alone get something up off the ground. In South Australia, one of the proving grounds of the world for any kind of business. I'm proud to have done that, but then to have to fight these battles I've done the work, I put my hand out, I expect to be paid, and to have to trip over legislation or deliberate, unethical practices, borderlining on fraud, I might add, for some of these people, is appalling. So,
and we see that a lot. Where
I've seen it
deliberately.
One company, I've seen multiple things happen to my business from dealing just in one sector. It is ridiculous.
And they can still get away with it.
Well,
and people still end up with the money.
Yes.
The unethical directors.
It's getting tougher for them, which is a good thing.
That's right.
And it needs people to stand up and take the challenge. Don't think because they're so big you can't win, and in fact now's the right climate to do so because everyone's sick and tired of malpractice, fraudulent behaviour, and greed.
Get behind you.
You'd hope so. Some of them are not as strong as you hope you would. They are. That's unfortunate, but if you can champion and you've got everything documented correctly, there are some good avenues out there. And it's a matter of just getting out and making sure you hold these companies accountable, basically. They need to change their practices, and it needs to happen, or they're just going to destroy more and more small businesses in South Australia and the nation as a whole, unfortunately.
So hopefully that lives. So that's good. Moving on from there, just tell us a little bit about yourself, Mario, outside of your work. What do you get up to for fun, so we can sort of finish off? And
I've studied sustainability, so I have a lot of fun with that. I've joined Rotary, which I think is brilliant. I see such a incredible organisation. I'm very new to it, I might admit.
And how large it is, and how wide
it's global, and the impact they have, and the programs they put together to help people are fantastic. And they're not a charity, and this is what I've learnt so quickly, is they come up with sustainable solutions for a problem, and they'll come in, help that,
and then it continues.
Leave the people with the plan, and it goes on. Now that's brilliant.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Why doesn't government do the same thing? I wonder sometimes. It's not that hard.
It needs the private sector to do that, right?
It's crazy, isn't it?
Shouldn't be the case.
So, look, proud to be a part of that and looking forward to continuing to support the organisation. Just going and learning from the people that are there within the chapters, and there's multiple districts. So it's brilliant. Yes. So you're learning all the time, meeting brilliant people all the time. Like to see that grow, because people think Rotaries are a little bit for the grey hair brigade. We need entrepreneurs, we need business owners. It started with business owners networking. So there's a bit of a drive on at the moment, which is great fun to see. Yeah, exactly. We need to ensure this organisation stands the test of time. and keeps going.
Well, it's got $1.5 billion in its trust, so
Wow.
I don't think it's going to disappear.
That's incredible. No, that's great. Yeah, that's
and
good to
people
hear.
can tap into it with grants all around the world. So.
Wonderful. It's incredible, isn't it? So I'm very proud to be part of that. I'm a father.
Oh, sorry. Father, yes.
Yeah, I've got a going on 11-year-old, so that's exciting always,
keeps you busy.
that keeps me on my toes. Learning there as well. Lifelong learning principle of sustainability, so it's beautiful.
Definitely one way to look at it.
Oh, well, you have to as a parent, my goodness. In this day and age, it's just everything happens so fast for them.
I'm sure the 11 years has come around quick.
I can't believe it. Cannot believe it.
But I was going to mention we did catch up for a golf day.
That was
you guys
fantastic.
put on a couple of weeks ago.
Yes, a networking group. I'm involved with BNI, which I enjoy, have a lot of fun. As I'm taking the brand national, I've visited chapters in other states, and I've ended up with an excellent...
That's referring business and building your business.
It's all about referring and building business, but we actually run a charity golf day.
And you supported...
Autism.
Supported as well.
You were there. It was fantastic. It was a major hole sponsor, which is brilliant, which I did the same. All the holes got sponsored.
Autism SA.
Autism SA. We raised just under $4,500 one day between 60 people.
Yeah, that's good.
44 golfers, and then the non-golfers had some putting comp and some practice lessons and so on, golfing lessons. So brilliant day of networking, a lot of fun with everyone involved. Can't thank the sponsors, everyone that helped contribute and everyone that attended. We look forward to next year filling the whole course up. We didn't do too bad for our first time. 44 players was good.
Very impressed.
So, just as a group of individuals, that was pretty exciting.
Yeah, did a great job.
Yeah. Very proud to say that too. It's incredible when you do something like that.
And the outcome of it.
Yeah.
That's right.
It's amazing. See the faces of the organisation, how thrilled they are. Yeah. And we know that money goes a long way to a sector that really needs it too. So that's brilliant.
Very good.
Yeah.
All right. Very good.
Fantastic, mate.
Thanks for jumping on. Thanks
Pleasure.
for sharing your story.
Yeah.
Thanks for letting everyone know how important PPS are.
Happy to help and open to answer any questions if anyone would like to follow up with any feedback. Love to hear it.
All right.
Have a great day.
Cheers.